There's no double standards, it's just the situations are entirely different. Firstly, as you rightly say, the UN was able to take a clear position on Libya, firstly prompted by the Arab League, who were able to call at the United Nations for support for Libya. There was a consensus decision taken by all members of the Security Council. That has just not been in place in relation to Syria. You would have to question Russia and China as to why they took the positions they did. But Syria is a very different country. The complexities of Syria, its influence in the area is much greater, its military situation is very different. That is perhaps why there has been a concern about intervention. What the United Kingdom has said is the situation in Syria is unconscionable and cannot go on. We've supported the political process which has been worked on through the Arab League and by the United Nations. But the two situations are very different, and it's just not been possible to have the same response from the United Nations. Well, firstly, I think the United Kingdom's sense has been is that everyone has done their best to keep the temperature as low as possible. Turkey was right to take reprisals against the mortar shelling of their own villages, but it has been an appropriate response, and there's been no sense that this has expanded into anything more major for the reasons you gave. The risk of this conflict spinning out of control is very great. It should not be accepted that Syrian munitions land in Turkey. Turkey is entirely entitled to defend its own land. But the wider issue, solving the problem, remains probably the most urgent political issue of the international community at present. The United Nations has not been able to deliver. The United Kingdom continues to back the efforts being made to find a political solution, to support the opposition in its efforts to come together. And that is what is needed. The violence has to stop. The violence is almost exclusively under the control of the Syrian regime. They should stop the violence against their own people to allow the political process to begin.